Are we ready for another disturbing forest encounters video? Cause I am, kinda. I'm home alone right now, so that makes it better, although I'm not in the forest. I'm in my house. So I guess that doesn't really make sense. But I'm still scared, okay?
Okay.
I get scared very easily. This video is from Chilling Scares again, and it's why'd we go away? 6 most disturbing forest encounters caught on camera. So this is technically part 2 to the other forest encounter video I did, and people liked that one, so we're doing a part 2, and maybe some other parts. Really quick before we start the video, I do just want to say bear with me with my setup and everything, because I'm new to this, so I'm still getting used to everything. But yeah, let's get right into watching this video.
Daniel O'Neill is a YouTuber from the UK with a channel called English Woodsman, where he's been uploading videos of his wild camping, stealth camping, and woodland camping trips in the UK for almost 10 years.
I don't like the
Most of the
music.
channel's videos feature Daniel reviewing camping gear for his viewers and showing footage of his adventures in the great outdoors. For the most part, they're pretty tame, but in August 2023, he uploaded a video of his camping trip in the woodlands close to his home, and the footage is pretty disturbing. The first part of the video pretty much just shows Daniel walking through the woods and talking to his subscribers, eating berries, and pointing out the sights on the way to the campsite. At several points along the way, he pauses to mention the footprints and garbage he sees lying on the trail, indicating other people had been there in the last few days.
That should have been your sign.
Someone's been here. There's a lot of rubbish around here. Yeah, look at the state of this.
This is like eerie.
Does get used, doesn't it?
After about a 20-minute walk, he sits down at a clearing where he plans to set up camp for the night and leans back on a tree to eat his noodles as he talks to the camera.
Some noodles.
It's not until around 25 minutes into the video that things start to get seriously disturbing for Daniel.
Oh no.
I'll be out Friday night, but I'm going away Saturday, so I've got a bit of a drive as well, so I didn't want to be tired, and it's going to throw it down Friday night as well, and rain camping is really good.
Who is it? Oh, I wonder if it's an animal or a person. That sounds like a person.
Is that a badger?
You can hear like step, 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 step.
Hello?
It sounds like it's so close.
Even though some pretty human-like footsteps could be heard right behind Daniel, as soon as he turns around to scan his environment, there's nobody in sight. What's most disturbing is that as soon as he turned around and yelled hello, the footsteps immediately stopped. For the next few minutes, he sits down and tries to regain his composure as he sips his coffee and eats his noodles, but things only continue to get even more creepy as the sun begins to set.
I have respect for people that do this because I can't go camping in the woods like this. I have to have my stuff.
There's that noise again now. Hello?
It has to be somebody.
Hello? You got a bit of that.
Yes, we do hear it.
There's nobody here.
Clearly there's somebody.
About 40 minutes into the video, the footstep noises can be heard again, and this time it sounds like they're getting closer to Daniel. By this point, most people would have hightailed it out of there without any hesitation, but Daniel decides to sit back down to finish his dinner as he tries to calm his nerves for the second time. Amazingly, a few minutes later, it almost seems like he completely forgets about the footsteps and manages to think about less disturbing things, which is honestly pretty impressive. But as darkness sets in, the eerie footsteps start up again.
Why are you sleeping? What are we doing?
I'm going to be honest. I can't stay here now. I want to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but I can't stay here. I'm too unsettled. I'm nervous. I've done camping like this loads of times. I think I'm gonna go find somewhere else to get this bivvy set up. But I'm leaving this spot.
Understandably, after this third incident, Daniel decides to head somewhere else for the night to play it safe. It's hard to know what exactly was making those sounds, but because they sounded very similar to human footsteps, it's possible that Daniel was being stalked by someone in the woods. This is obviously incredibly dangerous, as you can never really trust someone's intentions when you're in such a vulnerable position all by yourself in unknown territory. It was either that or an animal walking through the grass, but because Daniel mentioned the grass was a little wet and wouldn't have made that dry sound if an animal stepped on it, this is pretty unlikely. Also, many people in the comments mentioned that no animal walks that uniform and steady. They stop, go, and change pace constantly. Either way, it's a good thing he decided to leave, because who knows what could have happened to Daniel that night.
Pause. I think that was a person. It could have been, I mean, you saw footprints going, whatever, footprints on the path. That should have been your first sign, along with trash. What are we doing? You heard footsteps again, twice, and then you decided to set up camp for the night. And then you heard them again, and you decided to leave at nighttime. I would have left during the daytime. I would have left the second I saw those footprints in that trash, because that means somebody was there recently. Let's continue this.
Part of a front range of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, made up of almost entirely public land within the Pike National Forest. In the summer, you'll find lots of bikers enjoying the Rampant Range's elaborate trail system and exploring the great outdoors. For the most part, this part of Colorado is a paradise for anyone who enjoys spending time in nature. But over the past few years, there's been a pretty alarming trend on the rise, with random people setting up wires on trees at just about head height in an effort to seriously injure bikers on the trail. In 2019, a post describing this terrifying trend was uploaded to Facebook. And disturbingly, the uploader mentioned that one of his high school friends had lost his life as a result of running into a similar wire on a trail. Immediately, people jumped into the comments to point out how incredibly messed up it would be to do something like this, and how this kind of evil needs to be categorized as attempted murder if the suspects are ever caught. A couple of years before that post was made, in 2017, two motorbike riders uploaded a video to YouTube of their encounter with a similar wire, and although nothing happened to them, it was a very close call.
You gotta be a very sick person to do this. If you're that mad about it, just call the cops or something. At that point, I'd rather have you call the cops than do this. But then if you call the cops, there's nothing they can do because this is a public forest that people can go in.
When these wires are set up off-trail, it can be hard to tell whether they were placed there out of malice or if a random camper or farmer placed the wires there to hang up clothes or something similar. But in cases like these where the wires are specifically placed on the trail, there's really only one reason people would do that, and that's to bring serious harm to bikers for some reason. Possibly they're annoyed with the constant loud sound of the bikes near their property or something else. But hopefully more measures can be taken in the future to prevent more people from getting hurt, especially because it's not uncommon to hear about motorbikers and snowmobilers losing their lives over this kind of stuff.
I guarantee you, it's usually
this audio was uploaded to YouTube by a user named ForestFire number 21. He recorded it around 2 a.m. in December 2014. The uploader lives in a forest, and he mentioned that the noises in the audio were coming from deep in the woods behind his house.
Oh, I have chills. Oh my god.
It's hard to make out what the child is yelling, but after listening closely, several users jumped in the comments to point out that you can also hear an adult voice yelling, "Where are you?" In addition to the young female voice making most of the noise, this quieter, more subtle male voice that can also be heard in the audio only makes the whole incident that much more disturbing. Near the end of the video, the uploader mentions that after that night, he checked the news every day to see if he could find some explanation for the screams, but he never did. The fact that the
wonder if
screaming
it
was
was a
captured at around
skinwalker.
2 a.m. in the freezing cold weather and in the middle of the woods indicates that the uploader could have genuinely recorded something pretty sinister taking place that night. It's hard to tell why the uploader would record and
don't
upload
even
the
know.
audio instead of immediately calling the police after hearing a female voice in such obvious distress, but at this point
Right?
there's not much that can be done about it. And who knows, maybe the uploader did call the police. There wasn't much context given in the video's description. We can only hope that whatever problem happened that night was eventually solved, but based on the shrillness of the screams and the strangeness of the whole situation, we probably won't ever be able to know for sure.
That is heartbreaking. if
Lisa
that
is a
was
life
real.
coach and YouTuber who often uploads videos of what it's like living in her van and traveling the country on her own. One afternoon in 2022, Lisa had parked her van on the side of the road and left the side door of her van open while she cooked her dinner inside, when suddenly a sketchy-looking
somebody
guy
gonna be in
approached
the
her,
van?
poked his head in her van without her permission, and started asking her some
Called it.
pretty bizarre questions in French, a language Lisa doesn't speak. When she mentioned she didn't understand what he was saying, he pulled out a translator app to try to communicate with her, which obviously made her pretty uncomfortable, especially since she wasn't interested in talking to him in the first place after he invaded her personal space. After watching
is
the guy
why
struggle to
you
use
always
Google
have
Translate for a few
some
minutes,
sort of
Lisa
defense
decided
on
she'd had
you.
enough and
You're
shoved the
like
side door in
this
his
if you're doing this
face,
alone.
also closing the curtain to make sure the guy got the hint. Strangely, for over half an hour, the guy then stood outside in the rain and tinkered with the translator app to try to communicate with Lisa, even after she made it more than obvious that she wanted nothing to do with him.
Take the hint, dude. What is he doing? Is he just like pacing back and forth? What is he up to? Oh, he's looking.
He just moved even closer so that I can't move out and so that I can't go forward.
Oh, he's blocking you in. Ram him. Just run him over.
Please leave.
Run into his car.
Please leave, you sketchy person. Please leave.
You better leave too. If you stay there, he's gonna know where you are. What if he comes back with more
With
people?
a very shady demeanor, the man snuck into the bushes and pretty much just stalked Lisa from a distance, as if he thought she couldn't see him.
He's like, you can't see me.
As the sun began
You
to
can't
set,
see me."
Lisa kept an eye on the guy outside to make sure he didn't try to get close to her again. But the man just kept on bringing his car closer to her van and blocking her exit in different ways for more than half an hour.
Call the police.
It's really starting to freak me out.
Instead of recording,
It's been
call
like
the
a half
police.
an hour and he just keeps on moving his vehicle so he can see in my van here.
Half an hour? This has been going on for a half an hour, and you haven't thought once
It's
thought
7
once to
o'clock,
call the police?
7 p.m.
Let me keep recording. Yes.
Fortunately, just as darkness had begun to set in, a family in an RV pulled up right behind Lisa and spent the night in the same parking lot as her, which comforted her enough to stay there the entire evening.
Good.
Disturbingly, the guy left soon after the other family arrived, but came back about 3 hours later in the dead of night to check if Lisa was still there. When he saw the other family in
Imagine
the
if she
RV
was
was
alone.
also still in the parking lot, he left and didn't come back. The next morning, Lisa left early and never saw the guy again. It's hard to tell what the guy's exact intentions were, but based on his overall sketchy demeanor and questionable behavior, they couldn't have been anything good. The one thing we can be
No.
sure about is that it's a good thing the other family in the RV arrived at the parking lot when they did. Otherwise, who knows what the man would have done to Lisa.
I think this situation could have been handled a lot differently. First of all, I mean, you told the guy no. He wasn't really taking no for an answer. And that's when you lock doors. I guess you can start recording if he's not doing anything harmful to you and he's kind of just walking around. So you can get like a video of him or whatever. But you waited 30 minutes and you kept recording him. You could have called the police. Clearly, a lot of time went by if it started to get dark out too. And if he leaves, he knows that location where you are. So you also should have left to find somewhere else. That's just what I would have done. Because I wouldn't want to stay in a place where some guy wouldn't take no for an answer and he leaves. Because I would know for a fact that he would be coming back. That's just my take. Let's get into the next one.
In May 2014, an Imgur user uploaded a blog post where he talked about the time he went to visit a friend in northern Germany. According to the uploader, his friend told him about these pipes that he had found in the woods near his house that stuck up out of the ground like periscopes. Apparently, his friend and his siblings played near the pipes as kids and knew that there were bunkers hidden below them, but their parents never allowed them to get near them out of concern for their safety. During the visit narrated in the blog post, the uploader and his friend decided to check out the pipes and finally go down into the bunkers that they never had permission to explore when they were younger, and they found some pretty disturbing stuff. A few hundred feet away from the trees, they found the entrance to the bunker covered with a loosely placed piece of wood that they easily removed with a crowbar. Once inside, all they could see were these long, seemingly endless hospital-like hallways that extended for thousands of feet under the woods. As they ventured further and further into the maze of tunnels, they found graffiti on some of the walls, indicating they weren't the first people to get the idea to explore the underground bunkers. To the explorers' horror, one of the walls deep inside the tunnels had the word "help" in German graffitied all over it. It's possible that it was just sprayed on there by another group of teens trying to be funny, but the eerie nature of the bunker coupled with the general state of disarray really makes you wonder if something more sinister took place down there at some point, possibly even written by German soldiers in the later parts of World War II. As they traveled deeper into the bunker, they found some more disturbing graffiti, with one of the eeriest messages reading, "Hello Satan, I love you." Obviously, that's not the kind of message you want to see in a tunnel system like this, but the two friends decided to keep on exploring anyway. After several hours down in the bunker, they ended up finding tons of more twisting, winding hallways, flooded rooms with old machines, and dark, narrow corridors that reached dead ends, but nothing more disturbing than the graffiti they had found a few hours earlier. The explorers managed to make it out of there safely and didn't go back there again.
That's so weird. That's freaky. I'm gonna stop this video here, because it has like 3 minutes left, but I don't want to make this video too long, because I've paused a couple times, and I don't like making long videos, because that means more editing for me to do. Moral of the story, if you're uncomfortable in the forest, you hear noises, leave immediately. I have heard too many true crime stories. I've also covered true crime stories on my Spotify podcast. And I've heard too many things about the forest and like camping stuff and people getting removed from the earth. So trust your gut and leave. If you like the video, give the video a like, subscribe for more videos. I am trying to post, or I'm going to post at least once a week, but there's no promises that I'm going to keep posting as much as I do because it is tiring coming home from work, doing this, editing, next day recording again. So it is a lot for me to do, but I promise I will be posting at least once a week. I don't really have anything else to say. Just thank you for watching if you're still here. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!